The Oak Island mystery may have just entered its most dangerous chapter yet. At Smith's Cove, the team believes they've uncovered something so unexpected it threatens to rewrite everything we thought we knew. This isn't another rumor or a failed dig. This discovery challenges the very foundation of the search. And on Oak Island, every answer comes at a price. Let's break down the clues that have reignited hope and could finally expose what the island has been hiding for centuries. For decades, Oak Island has lived on theories, near misses, and endless speculation. The prize always feels close, almost within reach, yet it never quite reveals itself. Still, the team refuses to slow down. New boreholes are drilled, voids are scanned. Every possible technique is used to probe the ground below. The belief is simple. Somewhere beneath their feet lies another chamber, another tunnel, another structure leading to something extraordinary. That belief, sometimes bordering on obsession, has always been fueled by possibility, and recently, possibility began to feel real. Last week, something unexpected appeared. Excitement surged, quickly followed by nerves and doubt. But on Oak Island, even the faintest hint of underground space is enough to reignite massive dreams. Rick and Marty waste no time returning to the site, determined to learn whether this anomaly is nothing more than empty air, or the entrance to something far more important. The evidence continues to build. Traces of gold in the water, flecks of gold embedded in old wood, reports of an ancient ladder descending into a tunnel. Are these clues finally pointing toward the legendary treasure? Or are they just another cruel twist in Oak Island's long history of hope, followed by disappointment? One thing is certain, the truth won't come easily, and it won't come without more drilling. Now the hunt pushes into uncharted territory. The team believes the island is threaded with a complex network of tunnels, each one potentially guiding them closer to something priceless. It's like navigating an underground maze where every borehole represents another turn and another chance to finally get it right. Time and again, promising leads have ended in frustration. Yet every piece of timber, every rusted nail, every underground cavity carries the same haunting question. What if this one is different? That question looms especially large over samples recovered from areas known as Baby Blob and DN 11.5. These findings suggest deliberate human activity, possibly dating back to the earliest construction of the money pit. When combined with water samples showing measurable gold content, the team believes they're closing in on something meaningful, and they're not backing off now. But the operation no longer centers on a single location. Oak Island has become a full-scale investigation on multiple fronts, from the swamp to the garden shaft to the tunnels surrounding the blob. Every part of the island feels connected to the same unfinished story. What began as a treasure hunt has evolved into something much larger, a sprawling archaeological puzzle, where every dig site offers another fragment of a truth that has remained buried for centuries. While drilling continues, Marty shifts focus to the garden shaft, an old, unstable structure that has sparked intense interest. Many believe it could lead to an offset chamber connected to the original money pit itself. The crew works carefully, reinforcing the shaft with new beams to replace centuries-old, waterlogged wood. As they descend deeper, metal readings spike, hinting at valuable materials below. Still, experience has taught them caution. Gold traces don't guarantee a jackpot, especially on Oak Island. Rick remains convinced that the real breakthrough lies in understanding the people who came here long before them. The island's past is steeped in secrecy. Tales of pirates, powerful empires, and hidden orders. From the Knights Templar to the British Crown to notorious figures like Captain Kidd, each theory offers a different motive for why something valuable might have been buried here. If they can understand the why, Rick believes the where will finally fall into place. Attention soon turns back to Baby Blob. Recent water samples show higher gold concentrations than anything previously recorded. The plan now is precision, drilling a grid of boreholes at equal depths to trace the source. If a pattern emerges, it could reveal exactly where to focus next. As the drills spin up once more, the team hopes this time they'll uncover more than just empty ground. Despite years of effort and limited physical proof, the passion surrounding Baby Blob and the garden shaft hasn't faded. That's because treasure hunting isn't only about what's buried. It's about the chase, the mystery, and the belief that history still has secrets left to give up. That belief is what keeps them returning, season after season, digging deeper, not just into the earth, but into the past itself. As the crew gathers around the drill once again, the sun sinks low over Oak Island. Long shadows stretch across the ground as the machine roars to life. The sound is familiar, comforting even, a reminder of the countless hours spent searching beneath this island. When the first core sample emerges, everyone leans in, scanning it for anything that could point the way forward. They know there's a chance this all leads nowhere, but they also know they can't stop now, not after everything they've invested, not with so many unanswered questions still buried below. Walking away isn't an option, not when they might be closer than ever. After all, this entire legend began back in 1795, when a young man named Daniel McGuinness and his friends noticed a strange, circular dip in the ground. Nearby, a marked tree suggested something had once been lowered into the earth. It didn't look dramatic, it didn't look legendary, but that small discovery sparked a mystery that's endured for more than 2 centuries and may finally be on the verge of revealing its truth. They started digging with dreams of instant riches, figuring they'd be counting gold by the end of the week. Instead, what they uncovered were repeating layers of dirt and timber, a strange pattern that only made them more convinced they were onto something big. That moment gave birth to the infamous Money Pit, and with it, a treasure hunt that's dragged on for generations, powered by the belief that the real prize was always just a few feet further down. Quick spoiler alert, the treasure still hasn't shown up. One of the most popular and dramatic theories centers on the Knights Templar. Yes, those Knights Templar. According to legend, they supposedly hid sacred relics on Oak Island, maybe even items like the Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant. Because if you're safeguarding priceless religious artifacts, obviously the best move is to bury them in a muddy hole on a foggy island off Nova Scotia. The story claims that as Europe became increasingly dangerous for the Templars, they packed up their secrets, crossed the Atlantic, and chose Oak Island as the ultimate hiding spot. The proof? A few carvings that might resemble Templar symbols, if you squint hard enough. But hey, facts have never been the star of this show. Then there's Captain Kidd, the infamous pirate of the 1600s. Before his capture and execution, rumor has it, he buried part of his stolen fortune somewhere safe. And naturally, Oak Island became one of the prime suspects. After all, every legendary treasure tale needs pirates. Stories of strange glowing lights seen at night only add fuel to the image. Ghostly figures, buried chests, cursed maps. The realistic explanation? Probably swamp gas or someone wandering around with a lantern. But that's not nearly as fun, so we'll stick with pirates. And of course, no Oak Island story is complete without the curse. The legend claims that 7 people must die before the treasure can be revealed. So far, 6 have lost their lives while chasing the mystery. Because what's a centuries-long obsession without a bit of superstition and doom hanging over it? Every collapsed tunnel, broken machine, and empty shaft just feeds the idea that the island itself is pushing back, protecting its secrets by wearing down anyone stubborn enough to keep digging. Enter Rick and Marty Lagina. In 2006, they bought a stake in the island and decided to turn the hunt into a modern spectacle, complete with advanced technology, relentless optimism, and a reality TV crew. Armed with sonar, ground-penetrating radar, and every scanning tool imaginable, they've uncovered a handful of coins, scraps of wood, and plenty of debris. But what they have found is an audience, millions of viewers who tune in week after week to watch every muddy setback and hopeful breakthrough. If nothing else, their dedication deserves respect. They may not have found the treasure, but they've definitely made the chase entertaining. The Lagina brothers and their team are like real-world Indiana Jones, minus the ancient relics and plus a whole lot of disappointment. You'd think after all this time, someone would have sealed the pits and walked away. But no. The possibility, however slim, that something is still down there keeps pulling them back in. And along the way, they've uncovered the stories that keep the mystery alive. Oak Island has grown far beyond a dig site. It's become a full-blown cultural obsession. Books, documentaries, forums, and late-night internet rabbit holes all revolve around it. And it makes sense. People love a mystery, especially one involving hidden treasure. Toss in secret societies, ancient curses, pirates, and centuries of failure, and you've got a story that refuses to fade away. Despite all the attention and resources poured into the island, the supposed treasure remains out of reach. And maybe that's the point. Oak Island's real power isn't what's buried underground. It's the legend built around it. The Templars, the Freemasons, the pirates, the curses, they form a tangled web of speculation, fueled more by hope than evidence. At this stage, it's not really about gold or sacred relics anymore. It's about the chase. The people drawn to Oak Island aren't just hunting treasure. They want to be part of something bigger, something that connects them to history, myth, and the idea that the impossible might still be possible. Over time, the Oak Island mystery has evolved into its own living legend, where the journey matters more than the destination. The hunt itself has unfolded in chapters. Over the years, investors, engineers, and adventurers have all taken their shot, many convinced they'd be the ones to finally outsmart the island. Companies like the Truro Company believed technology and engineering would succeed where others failed. Instead, they walked away with flooded tunnels, snapped drill bits, and empty pockets. Oak Island has a habit of humbling anyone who underestimates it. Then there's the infamous stone slab, reportedly found at 90 feet, etched with symbols no one could fully decipher. Some believed it was a coded message revealing how much farther to dig. Others thought it was a warning, or even an elaborate prank. Either way, the stone eventually vanished, just like so many other breakthroughs tied to Oak Island. Its disappearance only added to the mystery, reinforcing the feeling that the island never lets definitive proof stick around for long. At its core, Oak Island taps into something deeply human, our attraction to unanswered questions. People love the idea that there's still a puzzle out there that hasn't been solved, something that resists logic and certainty. Whether the treasure turns out to be gold, lost knowledge, or nothing at all, The mystery itself is the reward. Every tiny discovery is treated like it could be the clue, and every dead end only strengthens the legend. Because the real treasure of Oak Island might not be buried underground. It might be the endless curiosity, hope, and determination that keep people coming back, generation after generation, chasing the possibility that one day the mystery will finally give in. There's something deeply wired into human nature that pushes us to chase the unknown, to keep digging, keep questioning, and keep moving forward in the belief that the next layer might reveal something amazing. Oak Island speaks directly to that instinct. It's a place where curiosity and ambition collide, inviting imagination to run wild. The people who've devoted years, sometimes entire lifetimes, to this island aren't just chasing treasure. They're explorers, believers, and storytellers who refuse to let go of the idea that something meaningful is still waiting to be uncovered. For more than 200 years, Oak Island has held its grip on the world, and it's easy to see why. There's just enough mystery, odd artifacts, unexplained events, and unlikely coincidences to keep the dream alive. Pirate folklore, whispers of secret societies, and the possibility of lost historical relics all blend into a story that feels too compelling to ignore. Even without a confirmed treasure, the search itself has become legendary. The real wealth of Oak Island may not be buried underground at all. It lives in the stories of those who came before, the people who dug, hoped, failed, and sometimes sacrificed everything, chasing the promise of discovery. Their journeys, their setbacks, and their determination have become part of the island's legacy. Whether or not the pit holds anything of material value, the human stories surrounding it are priceless. At its core, Oak Island isn't really about gold, gemstones, or ancient manuscripts. It's about curiosity. It's about the thrill of pursuit and the belief that the impossible might still be possible. That sense of wonder is what keeps the legend alive and continues to draw people in. When you really step back and look at Oak Island, it becomes clear why this mystery refuses to fade away. It isn't just about what might be buried underground. It's about what the island represents. Oak Island sits at the crossroads of history and imagination, where documented facts blur into legends and unanswered questions invite endless speculation. Every generation that takes a shot at solving the mystery adds another layer to the story, whether they succeed, fail, or disappear into the footnotes of history. What makes Oak Island so powerful is that it never gives a definitive answer. There's no final chapter, no clean conclusion, no moment where everyone can agree that the mystery is solved. Instead, it leaves just enough room for doubt, and that doubt is irresistible. Humans are naturally drawn to puzzles that remain unfinished. We want to believe that persistence will be rewarded, that patience will eventually lead to revelation. Oak Island feeds that belief perfectly. And then there's the psychological pull. Once someone commits time, money, or energy into the hunt, walking away becomes almost impossible. The deeper you dig, the harder it is to stop. Every failed attempt feels less like proof that nothing is there and more like confirmation that you're getting closer. This mindset has driven countless expeditions on the island, turning rational people into lifelong believers. Oak Island doesn't just test equipment, it tests resolve. Over the years, the island has seen everything from amateur diggers with shovels to massive industrial operations with state-of-the-art machinery. Each new team arrives convinced they have the missing piece everyone else overlooked. Better technology, smarter strategies, fresh eyes, and yet Time after time, the island pushes back, through flooding tunnels, collapsed shafts, and misleading clues. It's almost as if Oak Island adapts, reshaping itself just enough to stay one step ahead. That's why the theories never stop. When physical evidence fails to deliver answers, imagination steps in to fill the gap. The Knights Templar theory persists not because it's proven, but because it's compelling. Pirates remain part of the story because they fit the romantic image of buried treasure and secret maps. Secret societies stay relevant because they explain the complexity and sophistication some believe the island's structures require. Each theory survives because it answers questions science hasn't been able to settle definitively. And yet, skepticism is just as much a part of the Oak Island story as belief. Critics argue that the mystery has grown larger than the evidence supporting it. That ordinary debris has been elevated into mythical clues. That coincidence has been mistaken for design. From this perspective, Oak Island isn't hiding treasure. It's exposing how easily hope can override logic. But even skepticism fuels the legend. Every debate, every argument, every attempt to debunk the mystery only keeps people talking. And that attention keeps Oak Island alive. The modern era has transformed the hunt into entertainment. But that doesn't mean the emotional investment is any less real. Watching the Lagina brothers and their team struggle, celebrate, and speculate week after week creates a shared experience. Viewers become part of the hunt, emotionally invested in each discovery and disappointment. When the team finds a fragment of wood or traces of metal, millions of people lean in, hoping this time it will finally lead somewhere. And even when it doesn't, the disappointment feels strangely familiar, almost comforting. Because Oak Island has trained us to expect setbacks. Failure isn't the end of the story. It's just another chapter. That cycle of hope and frustration mirrors real life in a way few mysteries do. Not every effort pays off. Not every question has an answer. But the act of trying still matters. Oak Island will always appeal to those who love a good mystery. The legend will keep evolving, inspiring new generations to ask the same questions and take the same risks. And maybe that's the greatest reward of all, not a chest of treasure, but a story that refuses to fade, an adventure that never truly ends, and the lingering possibility that one day someone will finally uncover what's been hidden for centuries. So what do you think? Has Oak Island been the greatest mystery of our time, or is it all just an elaborate illusion? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more mysteries just waiting to be uncovered.